Tax tips for house cleaners. What do you need to know about taxes if you are a house cleaner? We're going to talk about that today. Hi there, I'm Angela Brown and this is Ask a House Cleaner. This is a show where you get to ask a house cleaning question and I get to help you find an answer. Yay! Okay, so today's show is brought to us by mycleaningconnection.com. And over in the resource section, there's a little area on taxes. So click on that and the information that we're going to cover today will be in those show notes. All right, so what I want you to know about taxes are these. As a house cleaner, you do want to pay your taxes. I know it's easy to say, oh, just give me cash and I'll just, run my business by cash, but that's not very wise. You could be audited for that and you never know what money is coming in and what money is going out. It's a horrible way to run a business and it's not sustainable. So yes, as a small business owner, you do want to pay your taxes. You want to use an accounting program and you want to keep everything on the books. That way you know what money is coming in and what money is going out, and you're paying the government that needs their tax money so that you can be a legitimate business in the area that you live in. All right, now having said that we're going to pay our taxes, because we just decided that and established that right up front. Having said that, what do you do to keep your records? Okay, so it's a little game that you play, and my suggestion is that you get a little pouch that you keep all of your receipts in. Now there's software now, there are apps now where you can just scan a receipt and you don't actually need to save it, but my suggestion is save it anyway, because that way you have a hard copy, you have a backup in case something goes kaput with the app that you have. All right, so once you've saved your receipts, you want to categorize them. There are different business categories that you're going to want to keep track of. For example, do you have a smartphone? My guess is that yes, you do if you're a business owner. And did you know that that particular smartphone that you use for your business is tax deductible? And so that's a business expense because you are fielding incoming calls from customers. And so because that's a business expense, maybe you have some apps that you've had to pay for that go on that smartphone that are exclusive to the house cleaning business. Maybe it's a booking app, maybe it's a GPS app, maybe it's an app that keeps track of your employees or their time schedule. That is also tax deductible. So now that you're saving receipts for your apps and your software and your smartphone, it might also include internet access. If you have internet access that you are using for your business, all of that or a portion of that may be deductible. And so you want to keep track of those expenses as well. Now, do you have an area in your house that you're using as a storage container for your cleaning supplies? Do you have a room that you have all of your cleaning supplies in and it's got shelves and you mix your chemicals in there and you store your mops and your mop heads? Maybe you have a washing machine in there where you wash your cloths and you wash your mop heads. That area of your house may be tax deductible. So there are a whole bunch of different tax deductions that you can take for your house cleaning business. Now, do you have a vehicle that you use to take you to and from your jobs? Because you can't do your job without going to a customer's house. So if that's the case, a portion of your car may be deductible. There are a couple of different ways you can tax deduct your car. It might be that you go for actual expenses, which is going to be the price of the car insurance. It's going to be the repairs for the car, the tires for the car, the oil changes, the registration, the license inspection, all that stuff. Or you may just take a standard mileage deduction. A couple different ways to do it, and it's going to determine what you and your accountant decide. Now, the secret about having an accountant is you can hire them to do all the work for you, or you can do all the work yourself and just pay them a small fee to double check your work. My suggestion is that you actually get involved. And I know that some people say, well, I'm not good at the numbers, so I'll just give it to someone else. I have seen so many businesses that fall apart because somebody else did all the paperwork. The reality is this: if it's your business, it's your money. And so I want you to get involved in the accounting. If you're not good at it, guess what? You're like everyone else. There are no house cleaners that get into the business. They're like, oh, I specialize in taxes for small business. That's not how it happens. We get into business because we're skilled at cleaning, okay? But there are other skills that come with cleaning. You may not be good at accounting, but if you're going to run a business, you need to get good at accounting so that you don't get ripped off, so that you don't make bad business decisions, so that you don't wake up one day in year 20 of your business and you're flat on your butt broke because you never figured out how the money part works. I have seen some really sad situations in the house cleaning business where there are good people that are trying to support their families and they take today's money and they run out and they spend it on today's needs. And they don't have any money saved for tomorrow or for next week. Or if there's a cancellation, or heaven forbid, there's retirement down the road, they've saved nothing because they don't know how the money end works. So the secret is this: if you learned how to clean, you can learn how to do accounting. It's not that hard. Now, there are a couple of programs that I'm going to make sure are available in the My Cleaning Connection over in that resource tax section. There are 2 programs that I want you to be familiar with. The first one is TurboTax for home and business. And that's a small 1 to 3 person operation where you're kind of just paying as you go. Now, I want you to get really familiar with this. It's going to take a couple of hours. And the couple of hours is this: you sit down with TurboTax and you say, this is how much money is in my bank account. And then you say, this is the kind of business that I have. I have a house cleaning business. And then TurboTax asks you a series of questions. And you answer the questions honestly and say, yes, I use a cell phone for my business. Yes, I paid for apps for my business. Yes, I pay for cleaning supplies. Yes, I have uniforms for my business. And you go through all the different business expenses that your house cleaning business has. And TurboTax will shout out little numbers at you. It will say, oh, well, you get to take this much as a tax deduction. Or did you know that if you try to take this as a tax deduction, it will trigger an audit with the IRS? Do you still want to take the deduction? And you can go, no, I'm just kidding. Not really. I don't want to do that. But if you give gifts to your employees, or if you have incentives and bonuses, or if you have employee perks, or there are different programs that you have to keep your employees motivated, a lot of those are tax deductible. And so what you want to do right up front is you want to establish all the different ways that your company is spending money and all the ways you can get money back as a tax deduction. Because if you're paying your taxes, there are some reimbursements that you are entitled to as a small business owner. So you want to make sure that you are using a program like that. The other program is TurboTax, but it is for an LLC if you are filing as a corporation. What that means is there's a little bit different filing process than just regular if you're a sole proprietor and you're running it through your social security number. It's for bigger size companies and if you have employees. So there are 2 different tax programs, and based on the size of your business will determine which package you buy. Now, my recommendation is that you rebuy the software every year, because every year the tax laws change. And as the tax laws change, you might get a bigger deduction this year than you did using last year's software, just based on new rules that were passed with the government. And so buy the new software every year. It's actually an investment in your business, and it's not very much money. It's around $100, maybe $80 if you buy just the home and business. So it's not a lot of money, and the software that you buy is also tax deductible for your business. So it's a beautiful thing. Just do it. It's a no-brainer. It makes sense. Okay, so once you have the software in place, what you're going to want to do is get another piece of software that is either FreshBooks or a QuickBooks or a Quicken. And they all work together with TurboTax so that when you enter your daily receipts, and I don't mean you personally because that's time consuming, but they're all updated with technology now so that when you buy something, let's say that you use a business credit card to pay for your cleaning supplies, before you even get home and have unloaded your car, the bank has already updated that transaction with your online software. So when you get home, and I suggest that you do this once a week. For me, it's on Sunday morning. I sit down and I do all of my accounting reconciliations on Sunday morning. And I just look at all the different things that I've spent and I verify it with the receipts that I've saved. And I go, oh yes, this is what this purchase was for. And if I need to make a notation that maybe it didn't pick up properly, I can correct that really quickly and keep all of the books balanced so there are no surprises. So it's very, very easy to do all of your accounting. Then here's the beautiful part. At the end of the year, because we're approaching tax season right now, instead of you spending hours going through buckets and pulling out receipts, and you have wet receipts because they were in the bottom of your cleaning bag or whatever, don't do that, okay? That's not a good way of running your business. You want to sit down and literally within a few minutes say, TurboTax, connect everything with my online accounting software. And it does its little magic, and boom, here's your tax information. Because you've already spent the 2 hours over here telling the computer, yes, this is my car. This is how many miles I drive. This is how many gifts I provide my employees every year. These are all the different expenses that I have. And because you've already figured that out, it's already put that into Schedule C, which is what you file for your tax deductions. So it already knows everywhere all of these expenses go. So when you merge the two, it fills in your tax information for you and says, here's what you pay. Now, you have a choice. You can hit send and submit it electronically, because for the same price that you pay for the software every year, it includes an electronic filing. So you can just hit send because it's already double checked all your work. It's given you all the possible tax deductions, and then bam, you're done. Or you can take that final information and not hit send and take that to your tax accountant and say, is there anything I missed? Will you double check my work and make sure I did it correctly? And they can double check it and they can look at it and say you're good to go, and they can hit send. So it's entirely up to you if you would like a second set of eyes. I know lots of house cleaners that are more comfortable with a small business accountant going over their finances than just doing it themselves. And I know lots of house cleaners that just do it themselves. So it's entirely up to you. That last step is up to you. But I do recommend both of those pieces of software because they are amazing for small businesses, and it takes all the guesswork out. So I'm here to tell you, yes, we want to pay taxes, but we don't want to reinvent the wheel, because taxes are not fun for anyone. And accounting is not fun for anyone. But once you get the hang of it, it's really super simple and it's easy, and it will protect you from here through your retirement if you make wise business choices. And that's what this conversation is all about. Tax tips for small business owners and house cleaners. Alrighty, that's my 2 cents for today. And until we meet again, leave the world a cleaner place than when you found it.